Hello guys, welcome back. So today we are in day 19 session. Yesterday we have seen byte stream classes, which is the part of file handling in Java. So now today we'll try to discuss about what serialization and deserialization concepts. Okay, so before we are going to discuss about serialization, deserialization, first I just wanted to discuss few points regarding this. You try to understand. So serialization, first let's see what do you mean by serialization? Why should we go for serialization? To perform this serialization with respect to program, I mean practically, what are the things we have to take care? All these points we will try to discuss. So first of all, serialization is the process of writing the object data okay into network supported format. So what do you mean by this particular definition? So usually, since we are the Java programmers, our entire data is available inside an object. See, usually the data is getting stored in the form of Java object itself. Obviously the entire data is available in the object. So if you get a chance or if you get a requirement to forward or to transfer this data which is available in the object format from here to some other over the network, is it possible? It is not at all possible. It is not at all possible. Why? Because network won't support. Okay, network won't support this object form data, object format data. So that is the reason what we have to do. We have to write this object data into some other format. So that format can be supported by network supported format. So in this way, so that entire process itself is what we call serialization. So that is the reason we should go for what? Serialization. So in the process of serialization, we are writing the Java object into a network supported format, whether it might be a text file or some other anything. So we have a list of network supported formats are there. So why we should go for what is, I mean, why we are getting this kind of requirement? Because of Java, I mean, the entire data when you are developing the application using Java language, the entire data is available in the object format. So with that format, you can't transfer from here to there over the network. That is the reason you get a chance to convert or to write this object data into some other format. So that process itself is what we call serialization itself. Okay. So now to achieve this serialization, so what we have to do is practically how we can achieve this. So to achieve this, we are going to use a one predefined class, that is what object output streams. Object output stream, inside this we have a write object method is there. So this is one of the predefined class available inside the java.io package. Okay, so java.io package, and inside this class we have one method is there. Using this method we can write the object data into the network supported format. So that I will show you practically. You just try to observe. Let me open my Eclipse. So 1 second, it is just launching. Yes, this is our workspace. When I try to open, just wait. Hold on a moment. Right. So in the free Java sessions is our project. Under SRC, we do have so many. Under com.jsc.io, if I, 1 second. If I open this, is it a program? I mean, okay. Let me try to delete this because I don't want this. This one also, I'll try to delete it. I think test 9, test 10 also, I'll try to delete it. Okay. This is fine. Now I'm going to define one class with the name of test 10. Okay. So inside this test 10 class, I'm defining the main method. Inside this, right, I'm going to uh, create the object of object output stream. Okay. So because I'm trying to perform the serialization concept. What do you mean by serialization? You need to process the object data. You need to write the object data into network supported format. For that, we need which class object? Okay, for that, create the object for object output streams. Okay, object output stream. This is what we need. Object output stream OOS equals to. So, and this is available inside the IO package. Make sure you have to import this. So if you open this, see here object output stream, we don't have any default constructor. Object output stream is again expecting one more object, that is what output stream object. So but this output stream object you can't create because output stream is an abstract class. So that is the reason you are trying to create the object, or you are trying to pass the implementation class for that particular object. That is what, of course, file output stream object. So file output stream object is expecting the file name also. For example, here if I'm passing rom.ser, any I mean, this is in this file, I just wanted to like what, in this file I would like to like what, save my Java class object, my object data I wanted to save in this particular file itself. But why we are getting this error here? So okay, this particular constructor is throwing one exception. Of course, you know already, when if anything, any constructor or method is throwing any exception, you have to keep it inside the try and catch block. Okay, so exception e sop of e, save it. So sir, after you create the object output stream object, we supposed to like what, write the object data. So far we don't have any Java implementation. I mean the class, which class object you would like to serialize. First prepare that. So that is the reason I'm trying to like what, prepare one class. Okay, this particular class contains here private int stid, private string stname. For these two variables, I am just preparing getters and setters by using this IDE source generate getters and setters, select all, generate it. 1 second. Okay, generate. So, and in the same manner, I am trying to like what, override the toString method also, public string toString method. Okay, so you know already why we need to override the toString method. Return stid plus, okay, plus st name itself. Whenever you will get a chance to like what, display any Java class object, it is internally invoking the toString method, so that instead of executing the object class toString method, now I am returning the student ID and then student name. So then we will get the desired output itself. So this particular student class object I would like to serialize. So if that is the case, so try to like what, create a student object. So stu dot set stid 100, stu dot set st name, okay, Rama. Okay, save it. So now my student object is ready. Now I wanted to serialize this object. If you wanted to serialize this object, what we have to do? OOS dot write object and then pass this object. That's it. So once it is done, system.out.println of serialization process has done. Serialization process has done. Save it. So now if I write this, if I run this application, immediately we are getting the exception saying that java.io not serializable exception. Very, very important. So make sure if you really wanted to serialize any Java class object, now I am trying to serialize the student class object. Make sure if you really wanted to serialize any Java class object, make sure that class must be implements from, one of the predefined marker interface. That is what a serializable. Save it, sir. Okay, implements serializable. Then only it is possible. Make sure, because so whenever you define any class, when you are defining this class implementing from serializable interface, internally JVM got some kind of instructions. Okay, this class is eligible for what, serialization process. So such kind of instructions we are passing to the JVM by defining the class by implementing from the serializable interface. So it is just a marker interface. What do you mean by marker interface? Usually interface contains abstract methods and constants, but when it comes to like what, marker interfaces, we don't have any, nothing is there. It is just an interface and that's it. Okay, so but still why such kind of interfaces are required? Just to pass some kind of instructions to the JVM, they have given this kind of marker interfaces. So many are there. Example, serializable, random access, so many are there. You can just Google it, list of marker interfaces in Java, then you will get it what the list of marker interface. But whether you are observing or not, whether you are observing or not, here you see, so student, here some kind of warning it is there. Okay, here we got some kind of warning. When you keep the cursor, here you see the serializable class student does not declare a static final serial version UID field of type long. So usually while you are performing the serialization, you supposed to like what define or declare one serial version UID. So because why you supposed to like what declare, because of that is just capturing the versions. I mean the latest versions it is just taking. I mean whatever the object we serialize while you are performing the deserialization, whether the same object, whether this it is just checking with this particular serial version ID. See, whenever you serialize this object, it is getting stored in the disk, it is getting stored in the stream along with this object data. Okay, whatever the serial version UID you are generating, that is also getting stored. Okay, that is also getting stored. And so this particular serial version UID value, while you are performing the deserialization, your JVM will cross check, okay, whether this is the same object or not. How JVM will cross check whether this is the same object I am deserializing or not? Just by checking the serial version ID itself. That is the reason, make sure while you are performing the serialization and then deserialization, you try to like what use the serial version ID itself. For example, sir, here you may use add default serial version ID or add generated serial version ID also. Now I am just checking this add generated. See here, so this much long value is going to be generated. The warning is also gone. Okay, the warning is also gone. It is just a final variable itself, and serial version UID is always what, for static. It's, I don't know, I mean static final long value itself, and the value is also getting generated one itself. Okay, so now I took care each and everything to perform the serialization. Come back to here test 9, and right now if you are observing any ram.ser file is not there, ram.ser, only abc.txt and 2 image files are there. But now if I run this application, we are getting serialization process as done. So just come back to here, free Java sessions, refresh the project. If you are observing ram.ser, if you open this ram.ser, this is what exactly. And whenever my student Java object got stored in this ram.ser file, along with this object data like 100 and then some other information, student ID and then student name, along with that your serial version UID value also getting stored. Of course you are not able to read directly, sir, because of this is an object data. So here the point is, in this way we are able to like what perform the serialization itself. As I told you, process of writing the Java class object into a network supported format is what we call serialization. That is what exactly we have done now. Let me copy this student.java, save it, and come back to here, test 10, control C. Here test10.java is already with you, okay, to achieve the serialization process. Once this class gets executed, you just refresh the project, whether you just cross check whether ram.ser file is created or not. If you open, you're not able to read, sir, because of in that file object data is available. So that file you are able to transfer over the network. That is the concept of serialization. Instead of sharing the data through the object format over the network, you are trying to convert that object data into a network supported file, and then you can transfer. That is what exactly ram.ser file. So not only SCR file, you can store it in the txt file also, not a problem. Whatever the format which can be supported by the network, you can mention that particular format while you are creating the object output stream object here. Okay, so now after this, so now what do you mean by deserialization? Exactly reverse process, sir. Exactly reverse process. What is the reverse process? In case of serialization, we are writing the object data, okay, into a network supported format file. Now the entire object data is available inside the network supported format. Now deserialization is saying it is the process of, come on please, it is the process of reading the data, reading the which data, tell me? Object data, reading the object data from the network supported format, network supported file, network supported format file. Okay, network supported file. So in this way, we can able to like what understand. But to achieve this, so in case of serialization, write operation is going to be happen. In case of deserialization, read operation is going to be happen. So for this, which class we are going to use? Object input stream is the predefined class we are using. Inside this class, we are going to like what use read object method, so that using this predefined class and using this predefined method, we are able to read the read the Java object data, student class data, okay, from that particular ram.ser file. Okay, so this is how exactly we can achieve. You just observe here. So now let me try to like what close all. So I am just trying to like what define. Let me define this new. Take the class, define the test level, and this is for defining the main method here. And now here I am creating the object of object input string. Same style, object input stream object. Okay, OIS equals to new object input stream. No default constructor, expecting the input stream object. Input stream is the abstract class. So file input stream is the implementation class. So that is the reason new file input stream, okay, which can be accepting. So here I am passing ram.ser, which was already there. So from this particular file, I am trying to like what read this Java object data, which was already available. You serialized that. So why I'm getting this error? You know already this particular constructor is throwing an exception. That is the reason I'm keeping in the under try and catch block. So exception E, SOP of E, save it. So now once it is coming to here, object input stream is ready. Now I am calling OIS.read object method. So read object method, if you keep a object, it is returning what object type, but object is the return type. You just assume object obj equals to OIS.read object. System.out.println of obj. So right now obj is an object of object, but object of object is not giving you any data. Where the exact data is available, you need student class object data. So what we need to do here, we supposed to like what typecast to object data type to this one itself. So here we are typecasting from object type, typecasting. Which typecasting it is? Downcasting. Downcasting means what? Parent type to child type itself. Once it is coming, save it. Okay, so now system.out.println of system.out.println of student id plus stu dot get stid, system.out.println of student name, okay, plus stu dot guest st name. So in this way, see, object input stream is associated to ram.ser, where it contains the object data. By using read object method, it is returning the object type, but we are converting or typecasting or downcasting from this type to like what our own child type, that is what student. Once student object we are getting, we can call the getter methods to access the student id and then student name. In this way we are able to like what perform the read operation, but make sure internally JVM will cross check. So I mean, whenever it got serialized, the student class object got serialized along with this object into the ram.ser file. Along with that, that serial version UID value also got stored. So now JVM, while we are performing the deserialization, JVM will check. Okay, this is the same serial version UID. Is it the same or not? It will cross check. It will just check it. If it matches, it is. I mean, it is allowing to like what. It is allowing to like what, performing the deserialization, and this way we are able to read it. Okay, so now since we are not even making any changes, happily, if you run this application, we are able to like what get student ID and then student name itself. For example, okay, when the serial version UID is coming into the picture, okay, how it is just stopping to perform this deserialization, you just observe. For example, in the student.java, you are trying to like what add any other data. For example, string something like mobile number or something like 1 second, something like float marks or double marks, anything. Okay, or else private string address is there. Fine, that's a fine. So for this address, I am trying to like what generate source, generate getters and setters. Okay, address. Okay, address only. I am not generating the serial version ID. Okay, I am not updating this. Okay, we need to update that one also, right? Okay, we need to update this. Okay, the serial version. I mean, 1 second. Source, generate getters and setters. Serial version also. I am just trying to like what generate with this new changes. So okay, with this new changes, I am just updating this one. Okay, now student is ready. Now come to like what test 11. Okay, now instead of performing the serialization, you are trying to like what perform this deserialization now. Okay, now also we are getting a 1 second. The same value is there, I guess. 1 second. Student.java. Even though if I'm making changes, it's supposed to not come. 1 second. I think the same value, I guess. It is not getting updated. Let me cross check. Okay, let me cross check, sir. -64477L. After you made any changes, try to like what generate the new one. Add generated serial version ID. Okay, this is the new one, sir. This is the new one. Previously, it was the same. It was not updated. That's the reason it is allowing to like what perform the deserialization. So now if I try to deserialize, if I try to execute this program, immediately we are getting the error, sir. See here, java.io.invalid class exception, local class incompatible, stream class DESC, serial version UID. So that means, that means while you are performing the deserialization inside the stream, inside the disk, the same serial version UID is there or not there? It is not there. So why? Because since you made the changes, you changed the serial version also. But with this serial version ID, it was not stored actually inside that particular disk. So that is the reason while you are performing the deserialization, it is giving you the issue. So how can you achieve again this? Again, you have to like what serialize one more time. Okay, and again come to like what test 11, and again when you try to like what run it, and it is coming like that. In this way, you have to like what in this way, when we are making any changes in our Java class object, it is just trying to like what restrict. Okay, to before it is performing the deserialization, it is always cross checking with the serial version UID is same or not. So when it is going to be same, if any no changes are happening, when it is going to be different, if you are making any changes, if you are making any changes, again you have to serialize, and then only it is eligible to like what perform the deserialization itself. Okay, so ultimately my points are very clear. Serialization is nothing but we are trying to store the object data in one file. So that file you can transfer over the network. So in case of deserialization, we are reading the object data from that particular file. So these are the two concepts are very, very important, uh, especially while you are transferring the data from over the network itself. So, so that is all about what serialization and then deserialization. But before we are signing off this particular session, we are ending up this session. I wanted to like what give you one more small concept. So for example, here I'm serializing the entire Java class object. So now my point is here, I wanted to serialize the entire Java class object, but sorry, I don't want to serialize the entire Java class object. Entire student class object means what? STID, STName, address. But I wanted to serialize, I just wanted to serialize only STID and then STName, or else STName and then ST address. I don't want to like what serialize this STID. So how can you restrict like that? So if you really, if your requirement is something like that, you try to like what declare a variable by using one keyword, that is what transient keywords are. So using this transient keyword, we are able to like what restrict the serialization. Partially we are able to serialize the entire, instead of serializing the entire Java class object, I wanted to serialize only few properties. Okay, I don't want to serialize only few properties. Then declare those variables by using this transient keyword. Okay, now I made this transient keyword. I applied this transient keyword for this STID. So now come to the test 10 and stu dot set address. Here HYD I am passing. Let me save this, and the entire data I am trying to serialize. Let me try to run this. Serialization process has done. Come to the test11.java, save it. When I try to run this, whether you are observing or not, student ID is coming, student name is coming. Of course, we are not writing SOP for the, what is this, student address, since I made changes, plus stu dot get, what is this? I think, did I stu dot get address, save it. Okay. So now if I try to run this, okay, whether you are observing or not in the console, student ID is 0. But you already tried to like what store it by giving the 100. But why you are getting 0? because of you made that particular variable by using transient. Whenever you are declaring a variable by using transient, it is not going to be participated in the serialization process itself. So why we are getting 0? Because of student ID is of integer type, that is the default value, as you already aware. Okay, this is all about serialization and then deserialization. Okay, please try to practice, like the video, share the video to your needy friends. If any queries you have, please try to keep it in the comment section. Okay, thank you all.